Welcome to my channel, Hotspot with Loveth, the ultimate spot for all things entertainment, ranging from celebrity gists, reviews, interesting stories, and African folktales. Subscribe now.
Raina adjusted her veil with trembling fingers, staring at her reflection in the mirror. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of her life, the moment she had dreamed of since she was a little girl. But in the back of her mind, there was a nagging feeling, a small voice that questioned everything she thought she knew about her soon-to-be husband, Victor. The bridal suite buzzed with her bridesmaids' chatter and laughter, their excitement filling the room with warmth and joy. Yet Raina felt a growing chill in her heart as she looked around, her mind clouded with uncertainty. Her best friend, Kayla, noticed her somber expression and came over, squeezing her hand gently. "Hey, what's wrong? You should be smiling, girl." Kayla grinned, her eyes twinkling with excitement. Raina forced a smile. "It's nothing. Just nerves, I guess." But Kayla wasn't convinced. She could tell something was eating at Raina, and as her best friend, she wanted to make sure Raina was truly ready for this step. "Raina, if there's anything bothering you, now is the time to talk about it," Kayla urged gently. Before Raina could respond, there was a soft knock on the door, and Victor's best friend, Daniel, stepped inside. He was tall and serious, his gaze intense as he looked at her. She hadn't seen him often, but something about his presence always made her feel uneasy. "Can I have a word with Raina?" he asked, glancing at the bridesmaids, who exchanged confused looks. Kayla shot Raina a questioning glance, but Raina nodded. The bridesmaids left, leaving her alone with Daniel. She felt her heart pounding, unsure of what he could possibly want to say to her now, moments before the ceremony. "Daniel, what is it?" Raina asked, her voice barely above a whisper. He shifted uncomfortably, running a hand through his hair before meeting her gaze. "Raina, I know this is probably the worst time to tell you this, but you deserve to know the truth. I can't stand by and watch this happen." Confusion swept over her, mingling with a strange sense of dread. "The truth about what?" Daniel took a deep breath, his expression one of genuine sorrow. "Victor has been lying to you. He's been seeing someone else behind your back, for almost the entire time you've been engaged." The world seemed to tilt around her, and Raina stumbled back, grabbing the edge of the table to steady herself. She felt as if her entire reality was unraveling. "You're lying," she whispered, but even as she said it, she knew Daniel was telling the truth. There had been signs, late nights, vague excuses, the feeling that something was always slightly off. She just never wanted to see it. "I'm sorry, Raina. I wanted to tell you sooner, but Victor is my best friend. I hoped he would change, or that he would finally be honest with you. But today, seeing you here, about to commit your life to him, I couldn't let it go on. You deserve better." Tears blurred her vision, her chest aching with betrayal and heartbreak. How could Victor do this to her? How could he let her plan a wedding, stand before all their friends and family, knowing he was living a double life? With a shaking hand, she removed her engagement ring and placed it on the table. The weight of her decision hit her, but a strange sense of relief followed. She would not walk down the aisle with a man who couldn't be honest with her, no matter how much she had loved him. Turning to Daniel, she forced a weak smile. "Thank you for telling me, even though it must have been difficult." Daniel nodded, relief evident in his eyes. "I'm here if you need anything, Raina." In the days that followed, Raina tried to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. She moved out of the apartment she had shared with Victor, avoiding his calls and messages, determined to start fresh. And through it all, Daniel was there, checking in, making sure she was okay. At first, she resisted his help, feeling strange and conflicted. But slowly, she came to see Daniel as a friend, a confidant, someone who had risked everything to tell her the truth. One evening, as they sat in a quiet cafe, Raina looked at him, really looked at him. She saw the kindness in his eyes, the quiet strength he had shown throughout her ordeal. And something she couldn't quite explain stirred in her heart. "Why did you tell me?" she asked softly. "You could have just let it go, stayed loyal to your friend. But you chose me." Daniel took a deep breath, his gaze never wavering. "Because I care about you, Raina. I saw the way you looked at him, the way you believed in him, and I knew you deserved someone who would treat you with the same respect. I couldn't let you walk into a marriage built on lies. Raina's heart skipped a beat as she listened to him. In Daniel's honesty, in his willingness to risk his friendship to protect her, she saw the kind of man she had always hoped to find. Over the next few months, their friendship blossomed into something deeper, something neither of them had anticipated. Daniel became her rock, her shoulder to lean on, her laughter on days when she thought she'd forgotten how to smile. They shared stories, dreams, and moments that seemed to belong to only the two of them. One evening, as they strolled through a park under a blanket of stars, Daniel stopped and turned to her, his eyes searching hers. Raina, I know this isn't the perfect time, and I know you're still healing. But I can't pretend anymore. I love you. Her breath caught as his words sank in. She hadn't expected to hear those words again so soon, especially from Daniel. Yet as she looked into his eyes, she knew she felt the same way. He had been there when she was at her lowest, lifting her up and helping her find herself again. Daniel, I love you too, she whispered, a smile breaking through her tears. In that moment, beneath the starlit sky, Raina knew she had found something real, something honest. And as she wrapped her arms around him, she felt a sense of peace, a certainty that this was where she was meant to be all along. Victor had shattered her world, but Daniel had helped her rebuild it, one piece at a time. And for the first time in her life, Raina felt like she was finally home.